Hey, it's Aaron, and today I'm with the 2022 Volkswagen Golf R. This is one of the only two ways you can get the Volkswagen Golf in the US, the other one being the GTI. Both are sport variants of the Volkswagen Golf. The R has all-wheel drive. That is, between the two, the really major difference. But there are a few other differences, and this car is, it's a lot of fun. Let's get into it. So, lots of changes in the Golf R. This is brand new for this year, third generation for this car. And I'm out here in Wyoming. It's springtime. It's like 50 degrees. It's supposed to be summer. It's not. We had snow just 2 days ago. So, yeah. Anyway, apologizing for the wind. But the Golf R changes this year are lots of gusts as soon as I try to talk. So changes for the Golf R. First off, the 2-liter turbo engine is now putting out 315 horsepower. That's 30 odd. I think it's 35 more than it was last year. Still available with a manual transmission. This one has the 6-speed manual. It's a great little transmission. Makes this car tons of fun. If you buy the automatic version, I don't know why you're bothering with this car. Honest. Just saying, it's way more fun with the manual transmission. All-wheel drive, like I said, torque vectoring is set up more for performance than it is for all-weather, though this car is pretty okay in the bad weather. Like I said, we had some snow. I drove around in it, no issues. So, nicely done little car. Few changes on the body styling. You might be able to see some of that from there. When we go around the side, you'll see more. Also, a couple of changes on the interior, upgrade to the infotainment, couple things like that. I'll go over those, and we'll look at the working end because this is still a hatchback. Hot hatches are useful little cars. So, yeah, let's just get started. Let's talk design first. So where were we looking at it up front? You could see those creases in the hood and the slight changes they made up there. Now you can see from the side here there are several changes to the car. You can see the lines are a little sharper, a little more pronounced on the spoiler in the back, a couple things like that. Let me walk in and give you some perspective on size. It is a small hatchback. Golf always has been. That's what makes this fun, honest. So, if you're looking at the lines, you can see that the hood is much more aggressive right here to create a bigger front fender. And then you have a line here that runs across and continues all the way and then just abruptly stops right here. It doesn't try to continue after that. Underneath that, to create the belt, you see a line that starts right here with the Golf badge, with the R badge I should say, and runs across through the door handles. Technically it's going above them, but you don't really see that visually unless you're looking down on it, and then runs all the way across and is continued on the rear tail light. So you have this kind of less boxy than before, a little more rounded and forward looking, so it's a little speedier. It gives that impression of moving forward. You can see the roof line here comes up, dips just ever so slightly going back, but not by very much, just enough to give the impression of slipperiness. And then you can see that big spoiler back there. These beautiful wheels, which are really cool looking on this car. The color I could do without. I would like maybe a brighter color or a more subdued, sinister color for this car. But the blue is a good, and I'm sure there's people that love that. Now the caps are silver, and that sort of goes along with the R and with the wheels, but I think a couple more silver details, some kind of chroming, would have helped this a little bit. Maybe along the windows up there or on the door handles or something, just to kind of make it pop a little more. But really, this is a very, very classy, classic look for the Golf. This is what they've looked like for a long time. This is slightly larger than the Golfs from before, so this third generation is a little bit bigger. That adds a little bit of cargo room and a lot more rear seat room. But we'll get to that in a minute. Let's go talk about the cargo, and then we'll talk about those seats. So here at the back hatch of the of this hot hatch, you can see there's quad exhaust. Those are functional, but they're all coming off of one pipe, so it's not like truly dual pipe exhaust. And then you can see under here, this is much more pronounced, comes out a lot further than it did before. It's, in fact, if you draw a line, it's right there at the bottom 2/3 of that windscreen, or back glass is what I should say. The lighting is a little different. You can see that here. You can see this crease running across that goes all the way around. It creates that boat line because that comes around and keeps going like that. So it's a continuous line all the way across around the car. The big R symbol on the bottom to let everybody know what you're driving. And of course you have a spot for your toe pin if you need it. And then Volkswagen. Pretty cool. I love those handles like that. So cargo area, pretty good size. It's more than decent. It doesn't go back too far, but it's useful for the size of the car. You can get a lot of stuff in here. You can get a week's worth of groceries, maybe some box store stuff and whatever. Underneath here you have a weird looking air thingy. It looks like it's some kind of like it moves air or something. It's actually part of the stereo. So, but it's a big looking thing. There is no spare tire in this. You can get one. I think it's deleted because of the stereo upgrade. So let's go around and get in the back seat, and then we'll get in the front and we'll wrap all this up. Okay, so here I am in the back seat of the Golf R. You can see there's little pockets right here. The seat is right up against my knees, but this seat is set for me at 6'3". So someone slightly shorter in front would help with that knee room. As it is, I'm just up against him. I'm not actually pushing into that seat unless I move. So honestly, more comfortable than I would expect in the back of this car. This has heated seats in the outboards back here and a few other nice little details. I love the blue on the seating to match the outside of the car. It goes with the stitching and a bunch of other things in here. And then, what else do I got to say in back here? Headroom. So for shoulder room, I'm okay. There's a bolster right here that's jabbing me in the shoulder a little bit, but I am a big dude. I'm not little. Headroom, though, I am great. I've still got another inch or so up here above my head. That's amazing for a car this small. So kudos there. Volkswagen did a good job keeping this, suitable for Americans. We like hamburgers. So here's the front seat of the car. As you can see, at 6'3", I have tons of room in here. The bolstering here is just about right. It feels really good for me. I have a little bit of wiggle, but not a lot. So when I hit the corners and stuff, I don't have too far to go. Lots of headroom, even with this sunroof up above here. I still have about an inch and a quarter above my head. So somebody up about 6'4" would be okay in this. Feels really good, and I like the 3 pedal placement. I have big old feet because I'm a big dude, and if in some cars the pedals are a little too close, and I'll hit the throttle at the same time I'm pushing the brake down, just because my foot is wide. And in this, it's not. So it's easy to heel toe if you do that. It's easy to move in this, to run the pedals in this car without any issues. This particular model has a head-up display, has the upgraded infotainment in stereo. The infotainment is pretty good, but it's still a little clunky. Volkswagen really needs to work on that. That's true across the Volkswagen lineup. So, it's for everyday stuff, like quickly changing stations and stuff. It takes longer than it should. It's more effort than I want to spend. And these soft hard buttons that they've got up here for climate and volume they suck. There's nothing like a dial. I'm sorry, but for volume, I want a dial. For the climate controls, that doesn't matter as much because most people probably set at whatever temperature they prefer and just leave it and never touch it again. I'm cool with that. The steering wheel controls are awesome. So you have your cruise control and some other stuff over here, including drive mode control. This has track, sport, comfort, There's a custom one you can set up, and yeah, there's a bunch of drive modes. When I do an interior on this, I'll show you all of those. And then on the right hand side is mostly infotainment and similar. So just nicely done for shifting. If I pull this into first, the travel is a little further than my wrist. So I have to move my arm, but not much, and it's good. The downer is that if you have a drink in this drink holder, you're going to be reaching over it to make those shifts. That's really annoying. And the armrest is not adjustable, so for me it's way down. I have to lean over to actually use it, so I end up not really using it. So little things like that are annoyances, but for the most part, this is a very well done little hot hatch. Lots of fun to drive. All right, so there you go. That's my take on the all-new 2022 Volkswagen Golf R. Tons of fun to drive. Hot hatch is still there. The manual transmission is pretty well done. It's easy to run. Lots of fun in this car, and there are a few things that could fix, a few details that could fix, but as far as the drive quality, it's wonderful. It's a lot of fun. Could be faster, sure. Could it be quicker around the corner or quicker around? Of course, but there's only so much you can do inside of a realistic price point. You can't make a supercar out of a $30,000 hatch, right? So that's what I got. This has been Aaron, 2022 Volkswagen Golf R. Talk to you again soon. Subscribe.